of Austria, who's been good, but as far as complete biathletes go, Mike, he certainly is top of the box, although it is still Johannes Tingesbø in yellow. In terms of the women's, the overall World Cup won by Stурлою Легрейдом. So let's have a look at the course profile here in Нове-Мєсто for the single. France, Norway, Sweden, the top seeds. Julia Simon, fast Mike, but hasn't really shown, certainly not this week, hasn't shown her best form.
She's definitely dropped away. We saw that sharp form at the World Championships, but there's fatigue, whether it's a skis issue, but it looks like fatigue to me. And many of the athletes are so tired, except early this morning, Stuрлою Легрейдом still looks the most sparky, as if it's day one of the season.
Lynn Persson and Seb Samuelsson for Sweden. The Swedes racing their big names this morning. They got a podium finish as a result of that, finishing third. Germany, poor in the mixed relay. What are they going to do in the single mixed? Haven't been on the podium so far this year in a mixed relay. Italy have. And good morning this morning for the Italians, Mike. Vitozzi, Vera, Vindisch, Hoffer. It's a good sounding team. Austria with a chance. Hauser and Ada teamed up so many times together in this single mixed. Always nice to see them get a good start. And the Czech Republic, have they got a chance? Moravec. Borat with the gun. And he sets the field away. It's a big field at that. 27 teams entered into this single mix relay. Remember, each athlete in the single mix goes twice, and the men who are taking the anchor leg this time travel just that little bit further. At the World Championships, that was different, and it was the women that did the longer leg at the end, Mike. They really are aiming at equality here in biathlon. I think that's a good thing. It'll be interesting to see if they change the race distances over time as well.
I thought at the World Championships, though, Patrick, it played into the hands of the stronger teams to have the women going over 7.5 kilometers. I like it here today at the shorter distance, 1.5, so a total of 6 kilometers for all the athletes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, it should be the amount of time spent out on the snow rather than anything else. And certainly the women spent significantly longer. And it played into the hands of France and Norway, as you say, because they have a bigger women's team. They have a stronger women's team. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason why you shouldn't reap the benefits of having a strong women's team.
I love this camera angle, and normally we see this as the 900-meter marker, so it's 300 meters shorter, and that's quite a pace. 1 minute 17. It's feeling much better for the American team in biathlon as well.
Yeah, there are many nations where the biathletes and the cross-country skiers work together, share knowledge.
Yes, I think most nations are beginning to do that more so, and the Norwegians crossing over and sharing training camps sometimes, the Austrians absolutely.
So shoot number one. And Tandrevold, her skis clashing with Julie Simon. That's always just a little bit of a distraction. We'll see if they can clear the 5. Switzerland going very well down the far end of the range. And Susan Dunkley, early in, early out. Excellent shooting. Good work from her. And that would be a turn up for the books if they could get the win. France with Julie Simon, Mike, a bit of a meltdown on the first shoot.
Did she come in too hard? Was the pace of Susan Dunkley too much? Lost a lot of time there now. What, she'll be down in 8th or 9th position.
Well, that shows the advantage of being in lane 17 for the first shoot. Obviously have less distance to ski, but Dunkley did well to work her way through to the front, Mike, and then to clear the 5. Plenty of athletes on the penalty.
She was just a little slow. I think she got them all with...
She's teamed up with Nicholas Hartvig, who could well struggle to stay with the pace of Lygrid and Gigona, who race for Norway and France, respectively. Seb Samuelsson in there for Sweden as well. The Austrians with Simon Ada. Ada shooting so well, Mike, that his shooting really has made up for his lack of speed this season.
His shooting, I don't think there's been a better standard of shooting when you look at where we are in the season. One World Cup event left, and he really has mastered it. Rico Gross has got him to slow down.
Far side, just trying to get herself into a decent position. She wants to be up the top end of the range. Norway zeroing in lane 2. She wants to get as close to there as she can. And it looks as though she's going to have to settle for 4. So Austria, USA, Sweden, Norway and Switzerland, the first 5 teams in for the second of 8 shoots in this single mixed relay. I thought Hauser was going to go down into the prone there for a moment, but just gently placing the poles on the mat.
That wind again. It is. It's picking up to 10, 11 kilometers per hour. That does move the rifle significantly. Well, they're
no
all
end of
suffering.
Yeah, spare rounds. The Italians getting away the best at the moment. Michela Carrara, excellent shooting from her. She gets away clear, and Italy will hand over to Giacomo with quite a handy lead, 10 seconds or so. USA finally get them clear. 3 spares from Sweden. The danger of going on the penalty loop. Lisa Teresa Hauser is in the same situation, but she gets it down. Sweden breathe a sigh of relief. Penalty loop for the Swiss and Elisa Gasparin. And the Czech Republic, the home team, Mike, 5 penalty loops. What is that about? That's the first time we've seen that this season.
Oh, that is absolutely horrible. Sharvatova, she's got great ski speed at the moment, but she's lost her way with the rifle. 8 shots, nothing hits. A very bad day on the range.
It does sort of suggest a crossover of shooting, but Kazakhstan are having problems as well. And the wind is strongest down in lanes 15 through to 30. So I wonder whether the Czechs... So shoot number 3, and Norway moving up the order slightly to draw alongside France. So France, who are the world champions, with Антонин Гигонна fighting hard over that last loop to get themselves into top spot. Norway quite happy to settle for second, as that's where they zeroed.
And Lygrid, he had to work for that. He left the range 9 seconds behind. So impressed with his shooting. He's attacked so hard over that 1.5 kilometers, hasn't affected his shooting.
Yeah, and all the good work done by Michele Carrara of Italy has been thrown away. Possible penalty loops for the Italians now with Gigomel missing 3 of his first 5. The Americans go clear. Their good day goes even better. And great shooting. Sean Doherty teamed up with Susan Dunkley, who seems to be on decent form.
Eliseva has been shooting well. He got through that one okay, and should be out fairly soon.
We could be on for another 5 penalty loops, Mike, but this time Poland, no, they get away with it. Just downing that penultimate target. And in fact, the last 2 going down for Poland.
11.9 behind. He hasn't got the ski speed, but he'll be trying to fight hard up this climb. There he is, just coming up this climb now. I think you can afford to really attack from the range up to the high point, because what comes next is just a lot of recovery, and a lot of teams now trying to put that attack in to carry the pace down back towards the stadium.
Samuelsson of Sweden at 29 seconds. And
beside you takes a lot of the wind that is coming from the left, and that's why Lygrid was keen to come through onto the first lane.
The women are ready again to take over. Your money would be on Lygrid to clear the 5. 90% hit rate so far this season. Gigona on 80%. But in these conditions, who knows? Not perfect, but it's going to be good enough to give a decent lead. And France have got a penalty loop coming up. Mike Gigona, I wonder whether he was just pushing the pace too hard to stay with Lygrid, undoubtedly the quicker skier. But Lygrid showed good form in the pursuit yesterday, and I think maybe his confidence just rising a little bit too much. Good shooting again from the Americans. They get 5 with 6. Sweden get 5 with 5. And Italy, after a bit of a mess on the prone from Gigomel, clears 5 with 5. So they are back in the running for a top 3. Norway, Austria, United States, the leading 3 teams. Italy at 21, Sweden at 22.5. Any one of them could take the top spot today.
To be handed over to so far back, I really hope they don't get past.
Yeah, the Czechs issues on the first standing shoot with Lucy Shavatova missing all 5 targets, 8 rounds, no hits, 5 penalty loops. That's why the host nation find themselves so far back. What about Norway? Back onto lane 1. Tandrevold looked pretty solid first time round, but there's a miss, which opens up an opportunity for Austria. USA on lane 3, Sweden lane 4, Italy Lane 5 with Michaela Carrara, who looked good on the first time round. Four out of four for Dunkley, 5 out of 5. The USA moving back up into the top 2 and helped by the fact that Austria have now missed 2. Sweden are going to be at least 5 seconds down on the USA, but still in the running for a top spot. And Samuelsson taking the men's leg. He'll be taking the anchor leg for the Swedes today.
What
Italy
about
with a penalty loop?
Yeah, Carrara, it's just not going well at all. She only hit 1 out of the 5 shots in her magazine.
Yeah, she shot well first time around. I wonder whether pushing the pace to stay with the leaders. Germany still not looking as though they're going to threaten the podium positions. They were 40 seconds behind coming in. The clock already at 30. And they find themselves a little bit closer, but 30 seconds off.
And the world champions, Simon, they're struggling, using 2 of the 3 spare rounds. So
her day's work is done. She'll hand straight over to Stålholm Lygrid to try and finish this one off. And with the French so far behind, it looks as though Norway can start celebrating yet another crystal globe. The mixed relay standings will go their way if they win this one. Definitely, France have to win to have any chance. That will give them 3 wins.
And the Swedish team, well, what a disappointment for them. They've lost all their coaching staff with Matti Nilsson coming late to this event, and he's been isolated. He didn't have contact with the team, so all the coaches are isolated. And it's the athletes who are not racing today who have been scoping and giving all the support around the track. And that's a good show for the Swedish team. Only 13-8 behind, so it's working well for them right now.
Yeah, and if Japan continue to shoot as they have done, they could be finishing in the top 10. That would be a remarkable result for the Japanese. At the moment, they're sitting in 10th, 56 down. They've only missed 3 targets, the same as Belgium.
Oh, great for the husband and wife team. That would be fabulous to see them top 5, even on the podium.
Still quite a stiff breeze from left to right. Tandvold unprotected at the moment. I thought it was going to be perfection from Tandvold. Maybe it's perfection from Dunkley. No, she misses number 5 and a chance for Sweden to go ahead. No, they miss number 5 as well. And Tandvold clears. The Americans still in this one. They haven't had a podium so far this year. This would be just the moment to do it, to raise their spirits before the last week of the World Cup. So Norway ahead. Lygrid is up against Sean Doherty. Both youngsters, actually, Mike. Doherty far more experienced than Lygrid at World Cup, but Lygrid has been the star of the season.
I'm just wondering if Doherty, I think he has to try and stay with Lygrid's pace. On paper, he's 10, 11 seconds slower, but I think he has to live with that pace and take the risk.
Yeah, it's only a short loop. Here are the Japanese, only 3 mid-targets missed so far. The 2 Takizakis, that makes it 4. And Ukraine might go ahead of them. Out goes Lygrid, and of course, sorry Mike, tracked by Sean Doherty.
Yes, Sean Doherty, he's like a limpet. He's hanging on there. He has to stay with that pace. It may risk his levels, his pulse levels, raising up high when he comes in for his first shoot. 16 just pulled off the track there.
Well, the Americans have pretty much matched Norway for ski speed, Mike, which is probably the biggest surprise of today. Dunkley actually out-skiing Tandvold, and Lygrid a bit quicker than Sean Doherty, so that's evened itself out. They've both missed the same number of targets, 5. Own shoot is important. The wind conditions, keep an eye on that. It's still blowing pretty stiff from the left. If it comes down to a shooting match, number 2 is the man that you would back every time from what we've seen this season. So the last prone shoot of the race today, and then it's into the stand.
Sean Doherty, there he is. He didn't look phased at all. Physically, he seems okay.
Lygrid, a rare miss. Still at around 96% for the season in the prone position. And Sweden with Samuelsson, a chance to close the gap on Norway. They will do just that. And USA need this target down. They've got it down. So the leading four stay just where they were with an equal shooting match on that occasion. The French really can't afford another miss if they want a challenge for the podium. He thought he had it. He absolutely thought he had it.
Look at the shake of the head, the anger. He felt that was spot on, but the wind, look, it jumped up to 17 kilometers an hour. The brain said that was a hit. It wasn't.
Yeah, and that's really put off Gigona. Didn't spend as long building his position for that first spare. Needs to make absolutely sure of this. And suddenly the French, from a position to attack the podium, are going to find themselves 50 to 55 seconds behind. Germany in a similar position, finally gets it down. And now it's France and Germany going head-to-head on the penultimate lap here.
Right shooter, right-eyed shooter, and he'd unhooked. So it was a rebuild of his position, and he didn't rebuild it the same as he normally would if he had skied in. So it was a little uncomfortable to...
So, last shoot of the day. The last 5 targets to be hit here in Нове-Мєсто this season. Sweden, who have been on the podium 4 out of 5 of the mixed relays, but no wins. This is their chance. At the moment, it's going to be a ski race. Slight advantage to Norway, a big advantage to Norway. 150, well, not 150 meters, 8 seconds. I was forgetting the spare rounds for a second. So Sweden have work to do, but they are still in this one. And USA, desperate for a podium finish, need this shot to go down. Sean Doherty, has he got the nerve? Yes, he has. It's down. And now Simonada, I don't think we've seen him miss 2 targets all season, Mike. The pressure getting to him.
Extraordinary. He had to push his pace. He's 38-year-old now, and it maybe has caught up with him at the end of the season. I'm very surprised he missed 2 there.
Well, what has Ada got to try and catch on Doherty? That might be a difficult job for Simonada. 12 seconds. Samuelsson might fancy his chances. I think we'll see Samuelsson and Lygrid in contact before they come in to the stadium. And then it's anybody's guess who's going to win the sprint up the final hill into the finish. Russia are out of it. France have missed their chance of winning the mixed relay. And the gap was 5 seconds. It's down to 3. It's down to 3, but there's still work for Samuelsson to do. I think the fight has gone out of the legs of Seb Samuelsson, but we'll see on the climb. Lygrid looks towards the top of the hill. Good discipline from him. He's not only an immensely talented biathlete, he's also a fighter. From 5 to 2.6, Samuelsson has a chance. It's not over quite yet. There's still a little bit of climbing to go, and that seems to be where he's gaining ground.
Oh, what a brilliant day for the Americans. Sean Doherty, he held his nerve, 1 spare round on the final stand, and I'm quite sure he wouldn't have expected Simon Eder to have to use 2 spare rounds.
Yeah, and the Americans, Mike, putting their main players into the mixed relay this morning. They got a brilliant 6th place. They'll be delighted with that. But to then get a podium in the single mixed relay with Susan Dunkley and, of course, Sean Doherty.
Very impressive. Well, Samuelsson has to give it all, try to pick as much pace over this section of the track. Can he do it? I think he's running out of space.
Yeah, 25-meter climb, and he's starting to lose his balance, but he's still close. 2.8 seconds to play with at the moment, and that seems to have come down. Now Samuelsson puts in that last burst. Still 150 meters to go, and it's the Swede who's traveling the quicker at the moment, but the technique's starting to desert him. Still Norway away leading. Sweden looking for their first win of the season, and Samuel goes to his left. He's certainly still got the better glide. Lygrid starting to tie up now as Samuelsson lengthens his glide and powers clear. Brilliant win, 5 seconds gained on that last loop. Sweden take the day, but Norway take the mixed relay crystal globe for the year. 1.5 seconds between them. The best single mixed relay of the season. Well done to Lynn Persson and Seb Samuelsson. That is fantastic for Sweden.
What a hero, Samuelsson. It didn't look possible. He tried early on, but couldn't close the gap at all. Kept on fighting, and just what, the final 100 meters, he managed to find something from somewhere.
And Sean Doherty celebrates a podium finish for the Americans. 27 teams entered today. That is absolutely wonderful for them. Simonada teamed up with Lisa Theresa Hauser. It was good, but it wasn't vintage Ada. With those 2 misses on that last shoot, Mike, I guess rarely does Ada find himself in a pressure situation like that nowadays.
Oh, and he'll be so disappointed. His shooting statistics have been quite amazing, and he lost his way there today for the first time, and it cost him a medal. It cost him a position in this race, a podium position.
And it's not often that Norway produce the best shooting score and don't win a relay. So credit to Sweden, 7 misses, and they still managed to pip the Norwegians on the line. Samuelsson was the hunter there, Mike. At one stage, I thought he'd given up the chase, but he just got a glimmer of hope as they entered the base of that final hill.
So impressive, Samuelsson on a tired body. Yes, they're all tired. He found some inner strength today.
Lottie Lee and Florent Cloud for Belgium. That's a top 10, best we've seen from them this year. That's a really good result. So a few surprises there. The French will be disappointed. Russia, well, they got some respectability back, getting up into 5th, but they should be closer to the podium than that. Belarus in 8, Belgium 9. That is worth singing and dancing about. Really good work from them. And then the Ukrainians down in 10, ahead of Germany. When some unusual teams do well, some good teams do badly. Germany, Mike, what can they do to turn it around? It's been a miserable season for them.
They need to rebuild, don't they? They need to create, in the women's field, faster ski times, and that can be worked on in the summer with the proper training. And shooting occasionally in the men's side has let them down. A lot of people now getting ready for Moravec. I'm amazed Moravec has survived. He did well to survive. They were on the penalty loop 7 times. Not a memorable race for his result, but the fact that it's his last ever race.
Yeah, he was 3:43 behind last time we saw him. Yet to go through 13.1. Here he is, and the cameras will enjoy his swan song here on his home snow. What a career it has been for Moravec, and along with Schlesinger, he's played a huge part in the development of Czech biathlon.
Well, where's he found that pace from? Maybe so happy that the skis will be hung up after this race. And remember, it's Olympics, 2 silver and a bronze in Sochi. Those were his best moments.
What's he done? 11, 12 World Championships over time. His first World Cup season when he got points was way back in 2005. And in 2015, Moravec was number 6 in the world. That was his peak, if you like. That was a really tremendous performance from him. He was a good junior as well. Medals at Junior World Championships. And as Mike mentioned, silver and bronze at the Olympic Games. 2 silver, 1 bronze. 2014 Sochi was his high. Lovely shots, great shots.
And he was going to continue through to the Olympics, but this is his reason for staying. He has to be with the family. As a biathlete, you're 6 months away from the family, and well done to him. It's a tough decision. And so much family support over the years.
Emotional times for Moravec. And yeah, good decision. Good decision. He's unlikely to win any more races at this level. And he's certainly done his job for Czech biathlon. And it'll be interesting to see where they go. Kukalova, of course, might retiring early on the women's side, but Davidova has taken over the reins there. Are we going to see them taking medals in the team events in the future?
I think so. They've got a hard fix coming through, and he's quite right to feel this as emotional. It's been a long journey, and I thought at the beginning of the season when he was fifth up in Kontiolahti in the very first race of the year, I thought he's on great form once again. He had a great lead into the Christmas period, and so many races. He gave so much to his sport for his country.
Yeah, and probably the last thing he wants is all this attention. But the Czechs wanting to show their appreciation for what he's done over the years. But take nothing away from Sweden. They're the champions here today. Samuelsson on the left? Surely not.
He could have, I think, it stayed lower coming off that rise as Samuelsson got some drafting in behind him. But hey, he did what he had to do, and it didn't work out for the Norwegians.
Yeah, I think you're right. A bit of free skating might have been a much more effective method for the leader on that occasion. Look at that, Germany on the second page of the results, down in 11th position. Disappointing day for them, Germany, with Janina Hettich and Roman Rees. Well, that is it.